Hello everybody, welcome back. With the release of the Mercury lately as the newest concept pledge in Star Citizen, the problem of power creep that new vessels create to the game became more apparent. The truth is that I would not call it yet a problem, but more like a trend that, if it continues, could disrupt further the balance of power between vessels and organizations in the game, but also could disrupt the development process itself, since the developers at some point will have to address it and spend precious time into fixing or better balancing multiple vessels. To be totally honest, the developers are already addressing this problem, mainly with the second planned rework of the Freelancer series, but also other reworks that will make specific older vessels better and able to compete against newer ones. This trend has been around for a while, with newly introduced vessels being significantly better than older ones performing the same or similar roles. But it started becoming noticeable this year with the release of Alpha 3.0, cargo activities and the rework of the Catalyst Black. The improved Catalyst Black suddenly became the ship to have, the best of the best that could perform every activity available in the persistent universe better than other similar vessels, or even vessels with better stats like the Freelancer. 9 months after the release of the Alpha 3.0, the Catalyst Black is still the king of vessels in the persistent universe. There is no point in using any other ship with similar or slightly better stats if you want to be effective. The base Freelancer with 20 more units of cargo capacity is rarely being used by owners of both ships, and it will be correct to say that the Catalyst Black has made it somewhat obsolete. This is why the developers are planning to improve it again and make it more attractive. Now, with the release of the Mercury, and if its initial stats will not change, the Catalyst Black is about to experience the same fate. And it is not only the Catalyst, but the Freelancer series as well, despite how good its rework will make it, the Herald, and even bigger vessels like the Constellation Andromeda. The reason for this is the Mercury's capacity to perform 3 different activities at the same time, saving precious time to its owner and making him more money. And this is the real trend CIG have been creating lately, making new ships better and able to perform more activities easier than older ones. There is no real specialization, only do more and do it better. This is obviously a way to make new concepts more appealing to backers and drive sales, that no matter how important they are for the future of the development, could and will disrupt gameplay in the verse. Additionally, because at some point the developers will have to balance vessels in the game, and many of the promised features or design choices will have to disappear, this will leave a sour taste in the mouth of backers that bought them because of one of those features, something that we have seen quite a few times already. One little detail I would like to mention about the Mercury has to do with its size and its length of 40 meters. There are suspicions that this is a mistake and the ship will grow, but even if it becomes bigger, it will still replace the other vessels I have already mentioned in specific activities. The Catalyst Black and the Mercury are just some of the many examples of power creep in the game. The Apollo is another one, a relatively new concept as well, that has demoted the Catalyst Red to the role of just an ambulance, and basically forced players with a serious interest in medical gameplay to buy it. The Avenger Titan has been the unofficial starter ship for a long time, making the Aurora and the Mustang series not worth owning. The upcoming Master rework will probably give some life to the series, but its stats will have to be super to replace the Titan. Going a bit back in time and the release of the Polaris now. A capital ship that had 2 major selling points when it was first introduced to us. First, its strong torpedoes that could target and destroy other capital ships and stationary targets, and its plethora of turrets that could protect bigger capital ships from the deadly light bombers and torpedo boats of the game. The Polaris was deemed a must-have vessel in every military fleet because of these 2 points, and naturally sold well. Then the Hammerhead came, a dedicated turret platform that could protect your bigger capital ships better, leaving the Polaris with only its strong torpedoes to compete against smaller, flexible, and easier to replace torpedo boats like the Calypso that can do the same job with fewer risks and costs. The main problem here is a lack of imagination. CIG keep making new vessels bigger and better, able to perform multiple activities and creating in that way super ships that backers must have in order to compete, turning everything else obsolete. This will have a great impact on the gameplay of Star Citizen and eventually make it stale and uninteresting. The developers have already acknowledged the problem and are trying to fix it with one rework after the other. In my opinion, the future of Star Citizen lies in specialization. Vessels should not try to be good at everything, but specialize in one only activity. And you could say that the Hammerhead was an attempt to introduce specialized vessels in the verse, an attempt that sadly was discontinued. This will allow players to pursue their favorite activity and find a ship to love, a ship they could call home. What do you think of the whole issue? I would like to hear your opinion and the direction you believe CIG should take. Thank you very much for joining me. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. I am SquidofLove and I will see you around the verse. Bye bye.